Good day, everyone. Jordan here. Welcome back to the Habsolute Dogs podcast. Today we're going to do a recap of the NHL Draft weekend. I'll be giving a grade for the work that the Habs, Kent Hughes, Jeff Gorton, and co. have done this weekend, and just kind of recap every pick that was made. Kent Hughes and co. started it off with a bang when he traded for Noah Dobson. We traded away picks 16, 17, and Emil Heineman to the New York Islanders in return for Noah Dobson. As we know, picks 16 and 17 turned out to be Victor Eklund and Kashawn Aitchison. So, look, I'll be honest. I was very high on Victor Eklund going into the draft. If the Habs had picked both. If they had kept both of their picks at 16 and 17, if Carter Bear had dropped, I would have wanted them to pick up Carter Bear, but that was because I didn't think Victor Eklund would make it out of the top 10. So knowing that Victor Eklund would have dropped all the way to 16 kind of stings, but at the same time, with where we are now as a team, as far as our rebuild, the progress we're making, we are looking for quality now over quantity later. So I'm happy that we went for an established player that we know is amazing. Noah Dobson is a great player. He's a right shot D, a really important void that we needed to fill. So I'm okay sacrificing projects that would have only panned out in maybe 3-4 years. I'm okay sacrificing that for help right now, knowing where we are in our rebuild. Noah Dobson isn't old either. He's 25, so he'll have many years to grow with us. He signed an 8-year contract, $9.5 million a year. Some might think that is a bit rich. I beg to differ. I think that anything under 10 for Noah Dobson is a good deal. And that's how much these players cost now. And with the salary cap going up, it's really not that bad if you think about it. So, and honestly, picking up Dobson, I believe, takes off a lot of pressure of players like David Reinbacher, even Alexandre Carrier, who really doesn't have that much pressure, but he was given a larger workload last year on that right side. So I'm happy that they have reinforcement now with Dobson. He'll be able to contribute offensively as well, taking some pressure off of Lane Hudson. I think Hayden Gooley and Noah Dobson will make a really, really good top pairing. So I hope, at least. I think it's going to be Gooley, Dobson, Hudson, Reinbacher, and then probably Jacques Carrier. That's who I would like our core six to be. I think we're looking really good. And then we headed into day 2. So rounds 2 to 7, we started off our day with another trade. So we really wanted this guy, apparently. I'm happy that we went for this guy. We traded up from picks 41 and 49 to pick 34 to get this done. Yes, trading away picks 41 and 49 is steep for pick 34, but again, this is about quality over quantity. So I think that that's where we're at as far as our rebuild process. So I'm okay paying a steeper price to get that quality. And I believe we did get that quality. In the, I'm going to call him the Russian Swan, simply based off of how he moves, his elegance, his smoothness, his finesse. Alexander Gerovski. The kid is 6'1". Unfortunately, he's 165, but that's okay. He's just a kid, so he's probably gonna fill out. He's gonna get stronger. He's an 18-year-old from Klin, Russia. He was ranked 5th overall by the NHL Central Scouting for EU skaters. His consolidated ranking was 42. He was 35 on McKenzie's rankings and 31 on Pronman's final mock. So I guess you could say he was picked right where he was being ranked on average. Apparently, according to the Habs, they had him ranked as high as their 16th and 17th pick. So, I mean, if we're going to take that as the truth, we got what we wanted anyways. Even if we traded away 16 and 17 for Dobson, we got the player that they wanted. So I'm happy we got him. Apparently there was some talk about teams also going for Gerovski shortly after that pick 34. I think that's why they felt the pressure of making that move. And that's what you have to do. You know, if you want your guy, sometimes you have to pay a steep price for it. And it looks like we got our guy. So if we look at Gerovski, he's just absolutely oozing with skill. Everyone has said it. He's arguably the most purely skilled puck handler in the draft outside of North America. He's a top-end playmaker, and this is just stuff you can't teach. So right now he's in Russia. He was playing in the MHL last year for Tolpar Ufa. He had 50 points in 45 games in his first MHL season, 46 of which came through his last 29 games. So he started off very slow and ended red hot, which is very exciting. It's much better than the opposite. He's going to carry that red hotness into next year, hopefully. He was first in scoring on his MHL team with 5 to 8 fewer games than the runner-ups, just to give you an idea. He had a short stint with the KHL's Salavat Yulev Ufa in the playoffs. He wasn't too productive there, but likely due to limited ice time. That's how they usually operate in the KHL with rookies. He also played in Russia's U18 team in the playoffs, where he had 19 points in 10 games. His contract in Russia is going to run through the 2026-27 season. So this is clearly a project pick. And I'm okay with that. I'm good with that being a project pick. We can leave him in Russia, let him mature there, let him get stronger. He's going to need to fill out anyways. So I'm happy we went for a player like this. Initially, I would have wanted probably a Malcolm Spence because he was dropping. But taking a swing for a player with this much skill, it's just as satisfying to me. He could be a major sleeper. Now, you know, obviously when you have a player that is this skilled, often the knock relates to poor decision-making and trying too much at times. However, poor decision-making comes with the territory of trying things. I'd rather have a young player who's confident enough to try things and make mistakes than a young player who's second-guessing himself. The mistakes he's making now, he can and he will learn from those mistakes as he grows older, as he gets better. I think when he moves up to the next level, he'll realize just how fast the play is. He'll realize that he maybe doesn't have as much space as he did in the MHL. So you can only hope that his IQ will adjust. And I think that the surroundings he's going to have in Montreal are going to make sure that he adapts his game to the next level. So he's sneaky fast when he controls the puck. Like if you look at his footage, he's got really good edges that allow him to accelerate when he's skating through the offensive zone. He can cover a lot of ground fast. He seems much stronger on the puck than you'd expect from a player who's 165 pounds. Really, he does look solid. He's always a threat when he's driving the net because of how shifty he is and how solid he is when he drives the net. So I don't think his weight paints the full picture here. And I think that as he puts on weight and gets stronger, he's going to be even more of a threat. So the fact that he can protect the puck so well right now is a great sign. He projects to be a top 6 forward, so getting that value at 34 is pretty special. Another bonus is that he knows Ivan Demidov. Apparently they've been friends for like 7 or 8 years. They've already been in contact with each other. Demidov apparently reached out to him, told him that he'd be here for whatever he needs. So I'm really happy that those two are hitting it off early. And you already know Bobrov and his team did their homework, and I'm sure Demidov had a hand in that. So, very excited for Alexander Gerovski. Let's all agree as a fan base to just give the kid time. Let's reassess when he gets a bit older. Let's not get too crazy. We know how this fan base gets. If next year there's some type of regression or whatever, let's just be patient here. Hopefully he becomes our little Alexander McGillney. So, great pick, Alexander Gerovski. Next up, Hayden Papanikus. I think that's how you say it. Papanikus? I'm not sure. Papanikus, maybe. 6'5", just absolute rig of a center. He's over 200 pounds. Exactly the type of player that can make a living in the NHL as a bottom six centerman, as well as a shutdown option for defensive faceoffs against the opposing team's top lines. He was ranked 70th on the consolidated rankings, 72 by Bob McKenzie, 43 by Elite Prospects, and we got him at 69. So looks like we were bang on with our value. He wasn't overly productive this season stats-wise, but again, that doesn't paint the full picture with him. He definitely needs to work on overall agility and coordination away from the puck, which is obviously expected when you're dealing with a player that is that big, that young. But despite that, he's actually surprisingly quick and tight around the net. He can put away rebounds, backdoor passes, just by using his body and being in that position. He's not bad at all at creating distance, actually, when he enters the offensive zone after picking up speed while he's driving the net. So, he's good at that. He's got actually pretty decently soft hands. Is good at avoiding defenders. His shots and passes are actually sneaky accurate from the footage that I've seen. And he might not shoot a whole lot. He had only 140 shots in 71 games last year. But that's also because of the role he plays and his positioning. So he's not a trigger man per se. He more often gets his goals like around the net somewhere, or maybe on a cross-ice pass in close, short shots, rebounds. But he also kills power plays, and he plays a defensively sound game in his own zone, using his long stick to intercept passing lanes. He even plays on the power play, which shows just how versatile he is when it comes to where you can plug and place him in different situations. So I love having this kind of player with that kind of versatility, especially drafting him where we drafted him at 69. So having that kind of versatility in that player is really positive. I wouldn't look at his plus minus with Kelowna. It's not very good. But also, Kelowna was the worst team in the WHL. They had one of the worst goal differentials in the entire league. So I think that has to do with his surroundings, the fact that he had such a bad plus minus. He still managed to pick up 19 points in 32 games with them after being traded from Spokane, where he collected 24 points in 39 games. He was just shy of 50% from the faceoff dot. So all in all, this could be a great pick. Future third or fourth line center, in my opinion, who won't make a lot of mistakes. He's got the ability to play hard-nosed hockey against top lines. A guy like Adam Lowry comes to mind if you're looking for a player comparable. Fun fact, too, is that he finished top 3 in right-hand and left-hand grip strength at the Combine. And I've seen a couple videos. He can fight as well. So it's nice to see that a guy that size is not afraid of using his size. So great pick there at 69 by the Canadiens. Next up, we went with Bryce Pigford. So Habs go with another right-hand D at pick 81. And I love this pick. He's an overager at 19, but not by much. His birthday's in April. He's 6'1", 183 pounds. He's said to be a responsible two-way defenseman with a heavy shot from the point, and he's really been able to break through this year to become a goal-scoring defenseman. He brings solid physical game. He doesn't shy away from laying the body on guys trying to enter his zone wide. He's very good at closing them off on the boards. He's good at stepping up on players if need be. Last year with the Medicine Hat Tigers, he racked up 47 points in 48 games. 20 of those points were goals. So to be able to pick up 20 goals in 48 games in the WHL is really good as a defenseman. 20 of those points came on the power play. So, the guy is obviously offensively gifted. And if you look at the footage from this kid, his wrister is a laser beam. Like, he's got a wicked shot, and he's finally, I guess last year, he must have had some kind of epiphany, and he started using his shot, and it has reflected in his stats, seeing that he scored 20 goals in 48 games. He then followed that up with 24 points in 18 playoff games. So he's often on the ice when his team scores. I don't know how much that had to do with having exposure to guys like Gavin McKenna and Oasis Wiesblatt, but he was just as productive as Tanner Molendyk, who's 20 years old, and he was a first-round pick just 2 years ago. So it's definitely nice to see that his production is up there with guys like Tanner Molendyk. And again, his shot is 100% NHL ready. I'm not saying he's as good as this player, but I would say that he's got some comparable he's got a comparable style of play to a player like Drew Doughty, I would say. So I like this pick. The upside is huge, especially as a right shot defenseman. I love this pick. Next up, Arseni Ratkov. So the Habs go with a goalie at 82. They had back-to-back picks there, 81, 82. He's absolutely massive, and he's still only 17 years old. He's 6'4", 194 pounds. His numbers last year likely don't paint the full picture if Habs reached for him at 82. Clearly they saw something that none of us were able to see. It's tough to really comment on the kid for now. He's a goalie anyways, so he's got tons of time to develop. And as we all know with goalies, they're late bloomers. It takes years. So what's encouraging is that he will be playing at the University of Massachusetts for the 2026-27 season in the NCAA. So seeing him there will be huge for both him and just, being able to gauge where he's at in his game. That'll be a good indicator. And it also gives him an additional year in Russia to develop, build off last year. So it's best to just forget about him for now. He's a long-term project. And the good thing about him is that he is very athletic, apparently. So athleticism shouldn't be an issue. It's really just about developing his goalie IQ, his balance, his quickness. That will come with time, hopefully. Next up, one of the most exciting picks, in my opinion, LJ Mooney. At 113, they go with Lil Jon. Yeah! Okay! I need to relax. So the upside with this pick is exactly why I love it so much. It's a 4th-round pick. It's a crapshoot anyway. So why not go for the home runs? Yes, he's small. Whatever. So is Cole Caulfield. So is Lane Hudson. So was Johnny Hockey, rest in peace. So is Alex DeBrincat, etc. There's a bunch of them out there. And the style of hockey that we see in the NHL today, it favors players like that more and more. Okay, it's a game that is much more based in skill rather than physicality, so I'm not that worried. He's been able to perform at all levels against all sizes. He's been basically a point-per-game player nearly his entire life, and that is thanks to his evasiveness, his puck handling, his speed, his playmaking abilities. His production last year across the U.S. National Development Program and the National U18 team, as far as points per game average, was pretty much tied for first or close second to Cole McKinney, who was drafted 53rd overall by the Sharks. So he led his team at the U18s, actually, at the World Juniors. He led his team with 11 points in 7 games, tied with William Moore, who was drafted 51st overall by Boston. So he is vastly seen as the most underrated player in this year's draft. If he was 3 inches taller, he'd be a first-round pick, without question. So I'm glad he's our prospect. And we as fans, what we need to do now is just forget about him. And that's another project-type pick. Let him develop. Let him get stronger. Hopefully he grows a little bit. He won't be ready for another few years, and that's totally fine. His confidence is going to need to keep growing. His IQ is only going to get better. He's just a dynamic player. He finds the open space easily. He's aggressive with his forecheck. And because of all of these things, he tends to overwhelm defensemen so much that they start forgetting coverage, right? And then Mooney finds that open man with passes. He's basically a playmaking version of Cole Caulfield, in my opinion. And I think being a playmaker favors someone of that size because no one really expects him to shoot. So because they expect him to pass, they're mostly caught trying to anticipate where he's going to pass the puck to. So that leaves him often with more time and space to make decisions and move around and find that open man. And he's smart enough and quick enough to do that. So yeah, very happy with this pick. He's a spark plug. Habs Nation loves spark plugs. So yeah, very high on LJ Mooney. On Lil Jon. Petit Jean. So next up, Alexis Cournoyer. Habs decide to go with a goalie again, and he looks like a really good one. On top of that, he's a hometown kid. He's been a Habs fan his whole life, so this just feels like a feel-good pick at this point. That's what you need to do with your goalies, right? You need to, as an organization, narrow down on your guys and just go for them. I think this organization does such a good job at drafting goalies. They don't shy away from throwing darts in these later rounds. I think they know how important it is to have a solid goalie pipeline because one of them is bound to hit eventually, one would think. So doing it this way allows them to never really be trapped into needing a goalie so bad that they need to waste a first-round pick on a goalie. Goalies are very unsure. It's kind of bittersweet when you take a first-round pick on a goalie unless they're above and beyond. But I'm happy that they're doing it this way. He's a big body, 6'4", 205 pounds. Yes, he's 19, but whatever. He's a project anyways, again. His numbers last year were crazy for Cape Breton. He had a 1.82 goals against average, .942 save percentage. He went 13-6-1. His playoffs didn't look as great. He only played 2 games. He lost both those games, unfortunately. But he's going to be playing at Cornell U next year in the NCAA. So that's really cool. I'm glad he'll be able to develop there with men at the college level. So yeah, another project pick. Time will tell. Next up, the Habs decide to go with another right shot D here with Carlos Hendel, or in German, Carlos Hendel, at pick 177. So he's a German-born player. He's 6'1", 176. They got him extremely late in comparison to his consolidated ranking, which was 83 overall. A bit of a head-scratcher how he dropped so far, especially given that he's a right shot D. I mean, usually teams are reaching for these kinds of players. So I don't know a whole lot about him. On Elite Prospects, it says that he's a puck-moving two-way defenseman, a power play specialist. He had 26 points in 52 games for the Halifax Mooseheads, followed by 4 points in 10 playoff games for them. He also had 4 points in 4 games for Germany at the World Juniors Under 18. He played for Germany at the Worlds Under 20 as well, but didn't get any points in those 5 games that he played there. He seems to be a quarterback on the power play, which is great to hear because obviously it shows that he can lead plays in offensive situations. From the footage that I have seen, he's actually a really smooth skater. He's got decent acceleration and offensive zone driving abilities for a defenseman. He's really mobile, honestly. I'm surprised he fell so far in the footage I've seen, but it could have something to do with his shot. He only had 84 shots last year. Also, I did notice in some footage his decision-making, transitioning from the defensive zone to the neutral zone, can be questionable at times. Seems to be a little bit prone to turnovers, but it's something that's teachable at least. So even if he's prone to turnovers now, I think that these are things that he can learn when he goes to the next level. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. The one thing that is a bit worrying is, from what I saw, his lack of physicality a little bit. Looks a bit low intensity at times, but I won't judge him just yet based off of that limited footage. The Halifax Mooseheads weren't a super offensive team last year. They scored only 155 goals, which was nearly tied for the league worst. So I'm sure his production would have been significantly better on a better team. He remains a player that is mature for his age. Wouldn't be shocked if he takes a big step forward next year on a Halifax team that I hope finds a way to improve. And I also hope that he works on his strength. So a fun fact about him, actually, is that he placed top 10 for the Wingate test at the Combine as far as mean power output and fatigue index. So obviously the kid's an athlete. I'm just hoping that he uses his athleticism to get stronger and play a slightly more intense type of game. So love this pick in terms of value. He looks like a kid that's going to continue to grow. He's going to mature. He's going to get better as the years go on, hopefully. If he keeps that power play time, that'd be great. And honestly, round 6, I mean, this is where you take a chance on players that fall drastically like this. Why not? I'm happy the Habs aren't shy of taking risks. So for them, it's about filling their cupboards with quality, not quantity at this stage. So I'm absolutely behind that. Next up, the Habs go with another right D at pick 189, Andrew McNeel. Apparently this guy wasn't even ranked. I don't know much about him. He had 3 assists in 33 OHL games with the Kitchener Rangers last year, so pretty small sample size. He probably also had very limited ice time. He had no points after that in 12 playoff games for Kitchener. So obviously he's not an offensive dynamo. So the reason why they picked him is probably because of his shutdown defensive abilities or just something that we don't know, that we haven't seen. Obviously, they had a chance to talk with the guy. Clearly, he must have really good attitude, good character. He was an OHL Academic Player of the Month actually last year at some point. I believe it was in December. And he's been involved in the community apparently. So this is probably a character pick. Fun fact, too, that I discovered watching some footage that I could find on him is that the guy can fight. He's gritty. He's nails. He's got a hell of a left hand. He just spams that left hand, honestly, if you look at his fights. So I like having that in the pipeline. Who knows what happens with him? Probably more of a shutdown bruiser type of player, so it's not bad at all to take a gamble on that at this stage. Last but not least, with their final pick of the night at 209, they go with Maxon Vig. Another defenseman, but this time he's a left shot D. 6'1", 212 pounds. He's 19 years old, so he's an overager. He's a guy that actually put up really good numbers at the high school level in 2022. He put up 47 points in 27 games. He was 17 at the time. Then he went to the NAHL, where he put up 24 points in 58 games and also had 77 penalty minutes, so I assume he doesn't shy away from the rough stuff. Last year, he played for the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders in the USHL, where he put up 32 points in 62 games with 85 penalty minutes. So clearly, I mean, I would imagine that he's a physical presence on the back end. Couldn't find much more about him, but the good thing is that he will be playing in the NCAA next year with Bemidji State, so that should be a good test for him. Another project pick. Best to just forget about him and see how he develops. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the recap. If I were to give them a grade as far as the work they've done this weekend, I'd give Habs management an A. I think that they did a wonderful job acquiring Dobson, taking those upside swings in the draft. I think that Alexander Gerovski was a great pick. I think he's going to be amazing. The skill this guy has. I mean, just look at his footage. He's a highlight reel machine. LJ Mooney's another guy that I really like their pick. Bryce Pigford, Hayden Papanikus, just really, really good upside picks here. So as a fan, you just can't complain. I love that they're going quality over quantity. I've said that a lot this podcast, and I mean it. I mean, I'm glad that they understand where we are, and I'm glad that they're acting on it. So you can't complain as a fan. Now, the only thing left to do is finding a solution for that 2C spot. It's a problem we have. We don't know where their head's at with Kirby Dach. I've heard a lot of rumors surrounding Jordan Kyrou. Even today, actually, I saw a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins rumor. So I don't know what that's going to cost us. It really depends, right? What they see. I've heard the name of Mike Matheson floating around. I've heard Kirby Dach's name floating around. Logan Mayhew's name is always up there when we're talking about trade rumors right now. So very interested to see what happens. But that 2C spot needs to be filled. We need to find a solution for that. Whether that's a stopgap 2C that doesn't cost us too much while we wait for a guy like Michael Hage to come up. Or whether we just stay put because we have faith that Kirby Dach is going to be good next year and healthy, Or maybe we spend a little bit more and we get someone that is a bit younger, a bit more established, someone that can grow on that second line, like a Jordan Kyrou. Really, we'll see what happens, but something does need to happen. On that note, thank you so much for watching. If you can comment, if you want to comment, give me your feedback. I would love to hear some feedback on these. Or if you're listening on Spotify, I have this on YouTube as well. Whenever you want, reach out. I'm always open to comments, feedback. And let's keep this going. All right, thanks again. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine.